Hi, I'm Dee Alban.
And I'm Dina Bass-Williams.
And we are
the Bass Sisters.
Have you gotten your merch?
Well, of course, I have my merch. I'm wearing that classic capitalism t-shirt because capitalism works.
It does. So go to our merch today and buy some.
Yes, you can prove that capitalism works by going and getting your merch. We have some new items. Common Sense Uncanceled.
My favorite, Attack Policy, Not People.
And my new favorite, Selective Outrage Sucks. So be sure to go to Policy and Pound Cake and get your merch.
Get some merch for someone else. Just buy merch.
Yeah, be generous. Okay, so yesterday we had the Big Boy press conference.
It was the first time since the Harris-Biden or the Biden-Harris administrations that the president had his first solo press conference.
Woohoo! Round of applause. We will talk about what we think of the press conference in our post on our Medium account, so be sure to check that out. But let's see what they have to say about whose administration it really is.
Now, when President Harris and I took a virtual tour of a vaccination center in Arizona not long ago, I took it to instill public confidence in the vaccine. President-elect Harris took hers today for the same reason. Harris-Biden administration is going to relaunch that effort.
A Harris administration together with Joe Biden as the president of the United States, the Biden-Harris administration.
You keep saying it. When are we going to believe it? Anyway, tonight.
Ouch. So Freudian slip or anything to really think about. Hey,
I just think they just need to get it straight because so that everyone knows that it's the Biden administration and
Harris is the vice president.
Because for Trump and for Obama, even in their social media, it was always the Obama administration, Trump administration.
But they know that they're going to continue to get attacks from the right if they don't clean this up. So is it a Freudian slip or is it really how it's working? I don't know. Time will only tell.
So before we get to Policy and Pound Cake, our good friend, Keiko's James,
yes,
from the Heritage Foundation,
president of
the Heritage Foundation,
announced that she is resigning, and we say, job well done.
Yes.
Round of applause to Mother James, Mother K, just a giant in the conservative movement, and we are so proud to call her mentor, friend, sister girl. And so,
absolutely,
a well-deserved rest is in store for her.
So we love you, Kay, and Mr. James, and we wish you all the best,
all the very best. But
well, let's get down to some policy. So the latest slice of selective outrage comes over the filibuster.
The good old filibuster.
Right? And so Dee and I always say we just want consistency across the board. We don't we're not flip-flop and everything, even though we love our flip-flops. I can't wait to wear mine on the beach. We just don't want our politicians to be flip-flops.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Absolutely. And so I'm going to be honest, Dee, even after having worked on Capitol Hill, my strongest knowledge of real understanding of the filibuster comes from Mr. Smith Goes to Washington. Of course, the classic American film. Let's watch a little bit of that.
That's up on top of this Capitol dome, that lady that stands for liberty. Take a look at this country through her eyes if you really want to see something. And you won't just see scenery. You'll see the whole parade of what man's carved out for himself after centuries of fighting. And fighting for something better than just jungle.
Standing and he's speaking.
So he can stand on his own 2 feet, free and decent, like he was created. No matter what his race, color, or creed.
And this endless speech for justice. I can't remember the movie that. I think it's like they're going to try to build a park and
there's no place out there for graft, or greed, or lies, or compromise with human liberties.
A member
and if that's what the grown-ups have done with this world that was given to them, then we better get those boys. They're right here. You just have to see them.
I don't remember the film. Dina loves that film.
I do. It's just great.
But, a lot has changed since Jimmy Stewart or Mr. Smith went to Washington in regards to the filibuster. And so now you don't have to stand forever and ever and ever and ever
give a speech
and
on the
give a
floor.
speech on the floor. However, there's some politicians who like the media attention and don't mind standing on the floor, and they like to read like green eggs and ham.
Wait a minute, who was it that read green eggs?
Ted Cruz, or I think
Ted Cruz read green eggs and
he
ham.
read green eggs and ham. So yeah, and that was, you're standing on the floor for hours and hours, and that book's not that long, but just constantly talking,
Right.
talking, right?
But what are they standing on? Why are they standing on the floor?
Okay,
What
so
is it?
I'm going to read exactly what the Senate defines the filibuster. So, what is the filibuster? The Senate tradition of unlimited debate has allowed for the use of the filibuster, a loosely defined term for action designed to prolong debate and delay or prevent a vote on a bill, resolution, amendment, or other debatable question. Prior to 1917, the Senate rules did not provide for a way to end debate and force a vote on a measure. That year, the Senate adopted a rule to allow 2/3 majority to end the filibuster, a procedure known as cloture. In 1975, the Senate reduced the number of votes required for cloture from 2/3 of senators voting to 3/5 of all senators duly chosen and sworn, or 60 of the 100-member Senate.
Okay, so to boil that down, the filibuster is basically a way for the party that is not in power
Right.
to have a chance to affect policy and to be a part of the debate. And so
And for them to play nice.
So it forces the party in power
to play
to
nice.
play nice, because the party that is not in power can filibuster and talk forever or delay action on
taking a bill or an amendment or anything.
Okay.
Right.
Okay.
So
So why are we up in arms again about the filibuster? It seems like it is a natural
it's fair
part
when
of,
you're in, and then when you're not in, you say that it's not fair.
okay,
You know what
so
I mean?
you're saying that when the party is not in power, they're like, oh, the filibuster is not fair. But when they are in power, they don't want anybody to speak.
Right.
Okay.
And prolong the bills or whatever they're trying to get passed.
Okay.
Right.
So
now
this does in fact sound like a classic form of selective outrage or change or flip flopping.
it's total flip flopping, because now the Dems are calling it it's a racist relic.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Okay. Of course, everything is always racist. Now, why is it racist?
They're saying that it's a racist relic, and I'm like, really? I don't know if it's I don't think it's a racist.
I don't think it's a racist relic. I think that it is very clear that during the civil rights era, Southern Democrats used it to try to block civil rights legislation. It did not work, but other Democrats since then have used it.
Right. So in 2005, the Republicans were in power, and at the time, they wanted to get rid of the filibuster. Flip-flopping, you can't do that.
We don't flip-flop.
We don't.
We have been consistent about the filibuster.
Exactly. So, but in 2005, the Republicans wanted to get rid of the filibuster. And President Obama, who was a senator at the time, this is a direct quote from him. He says, if the majority chooses to end the filibuster, the fighting, the bitterness, and the gridlock will only get worse. He also said one party should not be able to change the rules in the middle.
In the middle of a game. You can't change the rules in the middle of freeze tag.
You can't change the rules of the rules of the game playing kickball.
In the middle of kickball.
You just can't do that. And so, this, when you do it, it generates a big mess. And it just causes just yuckiness.
If you're not consistent,
if you're not consistent,
lack consistency, as we're seeing on the filibuster from the left and the right, this causes mess. And it also makes us it gives us less confidence in our elected officials, because we see what they just said when they were in power.
Right. And now they're not in power. Again, they're trying to change the rules. And so President Obama, at the time, Senator Obama, what have you, he's calling the filibuster now a Jim Crow relic.
That's what they do.
That's what they do.
And by they, I mean that is what Democrats do. It is a page from their playbook.
Yep.
Elizabeth Warren is also calling it racist. And now, as we said before, did Southern members used the filibuster to try to stop civil rights action. Some did, absolutely. Yeah. But the idea that the filibuster itself is racist is insane.
Is insane.
The filibuster is a tool that allows
the party in power, the party that's not in power, to stop.
To be a part of the debate.
Right, to be a part of the debate.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean?
Absolutely. And so Elizabeth Warren is calling it racist. Former President Obama has called it a Jim Crow relic. The bottom line is that we, again, believe that you have to be consistent and selective outrage.
And it doesn't matter if it's coming from the left or the right. You have to be consistent. Dina said we're always consistent in what we do and what we say. What right is right, wrong is wrong. It doesn't matter if it's coming from the left or the right.
And we want to be called out when we are inconsistent, because we believe that if a policy is good, whether it is, again, as Dee Dee said, generated by the left or the right. So we have in our show notes information about the filibuster. We have a link to the full movie. Mr. Smith Goes to Washington.
If you really want to watch it,
it's great. You should. It's a weekend watch. But let's keep watching the filibuster and see how the debate around this debate tool
plays out. So, like, share, continue to listen. Hope you had a good time and enjoyed listening with us.
And we will see you next week.
See you next week.